is Bron Breakker getting booed and getting the Bron Breakker sucks chance on NXT a big deal? So I'll throw it over to Kevin. Your thoughts? Do you think it's a big deal?
No.
Is it not? What do you think?
It's not a big deal at all. I don't think. It's 20 people, 20 of these like people that want to be on TV. They want to trend on Twitter. It could have been anybody in that position. You could have, I don't know, you could have like Prime Kane standing there in the front of that NXT crowd, and people would chant Kane sucks or Undertaker or CM Punk, just so they could have like this 20 minutes of fame on Twitter. That's all it was. It was classic like 2014 era hijacking of the crowd. I mean, NXT is taped in front of what, like 300 people? And then you got these 20 people that are booing Bron Breakker. So for those who haven't seen the segment, essentially Bron Breakker's out there. And I don't really know like what the formula is with NXT nowadays. It's kind of confusing. Like 1 minute it's, okay, we're focusing on the future. Then the next minute Dolph Ziggler's there. So I don't know. I'm kind of confused of what their overall direction is. But nevertheless, Bron Breakker's coming out, cutting a promo. He's standing there by himself in the ring. And he's getting this Bron Breakker sucks chant, like I said, from like 15, 20 people. He's pretending to ignore it. You can't ignore it because it's so loud. It's so prevalent. You can tell it made him feel awkward. And then Jinder Mahal just comes out like 30 seconds into Bron Breakker talking. And Jinder Mahal's like mentioning the chants. He's like, oh, you're hated by a portion of the crowd, Bron. Okay, like, cool. This segment was awful. We watched the whole segment. It was awful. It's not a great wrestling segment. Jinder Mahal is now challenging Bron Breakker for the NXT title. I'm just so confused. Like, what is NXT doing? I don't get it. 10 years ago, this company had classics with Sami Zayn and Cesaro in the middle of the card. And then they had the future of the company and like Neville and Bo Dallas main eventing. Now we got Jinder Mahal, who's 6 years removed from a WWE title reign, standing out there in a turtleneck sweater with a suit jacket on, yelling at Bron Breakker with two cronies behind him. I don't know. Where is NXT? Where is it going? What is it doing? I don't get it. 650,000 people watch this? How?
Yeah.
I don't want to overreact. Let me just say this real quick. I don't want to overreact, but I don't know where NXT is at. Like, this is what, NXT 3.0, I guess, technically, now that Triple H is back in charge. I don't know what they're doing, bro.
What I will say, and I agree with pretty much everything you said there. What I will say, Bron Breakker right now feels like a sitting duck for this sort of criticism and this sort of audience turning on him sort of thing. Because, as you say, what's the direction with this? I understand that they're going to try and break versus Mello Hay WrestleMania weekend. That's obviously the match to go with. But for months and months, a bunch of these Bron Breakker matches, they're now doing Jinder Mahal. And as you perfectly put, the segment was uncomfortable. It was not a good segment. We watched this like literally together thinking, this isn't good television. Jinder Mahal trying to cut these just like, it was not an edgy promo in the sense of like a CM Punk bomb, but he was trying to tell it like it is to Bron Breakker. Really let him know the reality of being a champion and what it entails. And he referenced the crowd, then like a bunch, like 30 other marks in the crowd started barking. So I guess Bron Breakker's thing is just he barks. So
he has that dog in him.
Okay, thank you for that, pal. So yeah, we're watching that, and it's just So like that's how Jinder Mahal. They had Bron Breakker. He's had a 313-day title run as we're recording this video. Half of it has just been him wrestling failed main roster mid-carders like Jinder Mahal now, Apollo Crews. I mean, Ziggler, when he won the title off him, and there's a couple more. And then he's half the other time he's having matches against Grayson Waller, which I thought that was actually really good. The Waller and Bron Breakker stuff, that felt like a legit Grayson Waller being like, I'm better than you. I'm the future star of the company. Half the crowd isn't there. You're getting lukewarm reactions. The crowd actually thinks I'm cool and I'm a G, and I'm too good for this. Like, Grayson Waller's cool. I'm not biased because he's Australian. He's actually a G. But yeah, I think Bron Breakker, he's a sitting duck for stuff like this where you have 20 smarks in the audience being like, Bron Breaker, sir. You could hear just like obesity emanating from those chants. But anyway.
Yeah, nevertheless,
Oh, dear.
NXT